Ah, yes, this is. So I was showing you England. This is England, Netherlands. That is Dutch, French. Then one more company was there, French. They formed East India companies. Why those companies were called East India companies? Because all these countries wanted to have trade with India. And India is an eastern part of the world. So they have named it East India Company. All there are French East India Company, British East India Company, Dutch East India Company, and even Spain East India Company. All those companies were called East India companies. And we come to know that later the British East India Company established rule in India and they continued to rule till 1947. So East India Company means a companies formed in European countries to have trade relationship with India. They used to take the materials from India and sell them in Europe, mainly spices and textiles, the cloth. That is the main activity they were doing it. Okay? Then, in order to expand their commercial activities in the East, initially great Indian traders like Mullah Abdul Ghaffur and Virji Vora, who owned large number of ships, competed with them. You know, in India, Indian traders were also having big ships. They were names were Mullah Abdul Ghaffur and Virji Vora. These two traders were having their own ships. But the problem was that Indian traders were not supported by the Indian kings. The European traders were supported by the European kings. So what happened? When the Indian traders were moving through the seas, the enemies used to attack them. So Indian kings were not sending ships to protect Indian traders. Naturally, Indian ships owners or these members or Mullah Abdul Ghaffur and Virji Vora, they had to stop taking the materials from India to the European countries or to the other countries of the world. So they had to stop because when enemies are attacking them on the ship, no support was there. So they used to lose their ships. When one or two ships were lost in a trading activity, it is a heavy loss. So those Indian traders stopped taking the materials from India to those countries and they began to sell the materials in Indian coast to the European traders. And European traders used to take them to European countries and sell them at a high profit. So much of profit was made by all the European traders because of those kind of trade. Indian traders could not get that much profit or they could not compete with the European traders because Indian traders were not supported by the Indian kings because Indian kings were not having so much of naval power. Navy of Indian kings were very weak. That has helped the European traders to control the sea, and they wanted Indian traders to stop it because they want to get that much profit offers. So they took the materials from Indian traders and they sold it in European markets. However, the European companies used their naval power to gain control of the sea, trade and force Indian traders to work as their agents. So Indian traders had to become agents of Europe. Agents means they take the materials from the village areas, go and give them on the coastal areas. They would get a little commission. They were not directly giving to the consumers. So naturally the profit was less for Indian traders. Ultimately the English emerged as the most successful commercial and political power in the subcontinent. You know, Britishers, they came to India in 1605. The British arrival period is 1605. Must understand. 1605. This was the arrival period of Britishers. And you must understand, It was in 1599, East India Company was formed in Britain. 1599, December 31st was the formation of British East India Company. And they came to India for trade in 1605 only, not early. And they continued 1605 to 1947. And from 1757 to 1947, they were rulers of India. First battle of Plassey in 1757 made them to control India. From that period onwards, they ruled. They continued. So that is it. The spurt of demand of the goods like textiles led to the great expansion of the crafts, spinning and weaving, bleaching, dyeing, etc. with the more and more people taking them up. Indian textile designs became increasingly refined. This period also saw the decline of independence of craft persons. How craft persons will lose their independence? How they will lose? See, I am a craft person.
They would not make their own craft things as per the demand they would make.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Britishers would tell a demand, a design. Now the crafted person have to work as per the design that is given by the Britishers. If I am a crafted person, Hemant has given me a work to do it. He wanted a chalk piece like this. This is a design that you make. I just make it. I don't have to use my extra brain to design or reshape or restructure anything. Nothing I can do it. So usually I don't become a real independent crafted person. I become a slave, like a person who just works as per your order. So my intellectual capacity to make a different styles and different varieties I am losing. So that has happened. That is why the craft persons lost their independence. When I am independent, when whatever style I want to make and I sell it in the market, this would happen. I will be free to do it. So many designs, many shapes I may make, changes I would do it according to my whims and whims. Now Britishers are telling, Britishers want this style and this design, you make it. So Indian craft persons began to think, why I should break my head? I may not be able to get more profit. I will do whatever is told by the British. That has happened for Indian craft persons. So they lost their independence. That's the way. Then this period saw the they now began to work on a system of advance, which meant that they had to weave cloth which was already promised to European aid. Advance would be given. I got to give money if I had to get 2,000 rupees for my piece of chalk. They would give me some 1,000 rupees in advance to purchase materials for making the chalk. So I will be happy. I will get more money earlier. I can use that money for some other purpose also. So, but I have to work as told by the Britishers. No chance. Otherwise, I had to give back the amount. I have no money to give back because I might have spent the money for my family's activities, marriages or anything else. So I cannot give back. So back the money. So whatever is told by the British trading officer, I have to make it. That has happened. Weavers no longer had the liberty of selling their own cloth. You cannot sell to anybody else. Only to the Britishers. They had to produce designs supplied to them by the company agents. Then what they do, there will be black shop places. Means there will be quarters for the workers. Now they began to bring them to some particular place and make them to stay there. So there are black areas, means in cities where Indian craft persons survived and they used to make the materials. So that is the black cities or black towns by the Europeans. So they controlled every activity of Indian farmers and traders. In the 18th century, the rise of Bombay, Calcutta and Madras You know Bombay? Bombay is here. This is Bombay. Calcutta is here. Madras is here. These important cities were developed during the time of British rule. And now modern name, you know, it is not Madras. This is Chennai. Madras is Chennai. Bombay is Mumbai. Calcutta is Kolkata. Now, present name. It was a name given by the Britishers because they found easy to pronounce it. Which were nodal cities today. Crafts and commerce underwent major changes as merchants and artisans were moved into black towns. You know, the commercial capital of India is Bombay at present. Commercial capital. Because the highest trading activities are taking place. There are seaports, airports, railway stations, and so on. It is known as commercial capital. And intellectual capital of India is said to be Calcutta. And our administrative capital is Delhi. So like that, differences are there. The European native traders and capitals were confined here while white rulers occupied the superior residences. St. Fort, the Fort of St. George in Madras, Fort of St. William in Calcutta, they were the centers of the British existence. Now we will see next chapter, next page, the movement of Christopher Columbus and Vasco da Gama. You know, the world is known to everybody now. But at that time, you must understand when Europeans, Renaissance has started. Renaissance means a rebirth. A rebirth of what? Rebirth of ancient civilization. The dead and gone civilization. In Europe, there was ancient Greece civilization and Roman civilization. The speciality of Greek civilization is inquisitiveness, searching something, trying to find out the truth behind something, anything, whatever they know. So that inquisitiveness was there in the mind of Europeans. That was being destroyed in the medieval period of European history. It we call Black Ages. So there was no educational development, no progress. In 1453, a city named Constantinople, this year in Turkey, here, this Turkey, Constantinople, the city was conquered by a group of Muslims named Ottoman Turks. When Ottoman Turks were conquered Constantinople, the Christians who were there, the educated group of people, that was the capital of Eastern Roman Empire. Constantinople was the capital of Eastern Roman Empire. And that Eastern Roman Empire, and naturally majority were Christians there, and that Eastern Roman Empire was conquered by Ottoman Turks. So that is said to be the beginning period of modern age in the world history, 1453. Now this conflict or this conquest has changed the world history. The scholars who were existing in Turkey or in Constantinople ran away with their knowledge, with their books and knowledge to the different parts of Europe. Mainly they went to Venice and Italy and many parts of Europe they settled down. And they began to give out the knowledge. That is said to be the Reformation. Changes, Renaissance or Reformation in European society. It is called a Renaissance. So, you know, Roman civilization. Romans are aggressive people. They conquered many parts of the world. They were making ruling administration, very good administration. You will study about them, Romans, Caesar, Julius Caesar, Mark Antony, all those fellows, you will study it. So those group of people were. We go to Greek, Pythagoras, Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, all these fellows were living in Greece. Those periods, ancient period. So that period is being reborn in European country. That's a renaissance and rebirth. So then the scholars have told the earth is round in shape. When earth is round in shape, if we start from this point, if we go round like this, we will reach back on the same spot. So to prove that, many people started to come out into the water.
Sir, Ferdinand Magellan, sir.
Magellan, we will come to Magellan. So they have tried to prove that earth is round in shape. Many scholars have. Now, first one we can see Christopher Columbus. He wanted to come to India. Started his journey from the place named Spain. This is Spain. So as the scientists or scholars have told, if you go like this, you will reach there in India. Here. Okay. Asia. So he went ahead. Here you can see, if you move there, you can see one island is there. Canary Island. From here, Canary Island, then he went like this, and he went and landed in this area. And he saw the people, different color. He had seen Indians because India and Europe had a trade relationship. But the same people are not seen there. So he called the people in this Madagascar, this Bahamas Islands. Okay, this island. Here it is Bahamas, Jamaica, Cuba, all this area. Somewhere here he has landed. And that people of that area, he called them Red Indians. So this is the route taken by Christopher Columbus. Okay, he started his journey in the year 1492. He thought that he has landed in India. He never thought that he has landed in this landmass. This landmass was not known to the Europeans. It was not known because across Atlantic Ocean. And crossing the sea was very difficult. They were afraid. Those who have gone to the coastal areas will understand. If you look from the coastal area, the water is going up like this and going down. The people thought, end of that. When we go down, that is leading to hell. So nobody was ready to go for a journey. When Christopher Columbus wanted to go, people were not ready to go with him. So the prisoners who were in jail were released from jail and tied along with the ship and sent them with the Christopher Columbus. That was the situation. Because people thought at the end of that place there is a hell. Nobody wants to go to hell. That was it. So Christopher Columbus, when the prisoners were promised that if you go and come back, you will be released from jail. Still they were not ready. So they were forcibly tied in the ship and sent along with the Christopher Columbus. So that is the Christopher Columbus journey, first journey. So he is a person who was said to have discovered America. Okay, then the person was come to India. That is Vasco da Gama. He started his journey from here, Portugal, Lisbon, near to Spain. He came through the coastal areas. He did not go far away. He came near to the, because we cannot drink ocean water. Sea water is salty. We cannot drink. Pure water from land area we have to carry for drinking. So he came till like this. You must understand, this area is known as Cape of Good Hope. Means if you cross this area, there is a hope of reaching India. In this area, this is a South African tip or African continent tip, as well as this is a country named South Africa. So crossing this area is very, there is a Cape Town. So crossing this area, this ocean area, was very difficult. So that is why it is called Cape of Good Hope. So he came like this. Then between Madagascar and like this he came, and he has landed in a area named Calicut in Kerala. That was the route, first journey of Vasco da Gama to come to India. So then we can see before Vasco da Gama there was another person named Bartholomew Dias. He started his journey same route that is taken by Vasco da Gama, but from here he went by. All his friends who were with him in the ship did not agree to go ahead because crossing this area was very difficult. They pressurized him to go back, return journey. So they went back. That is what has happened during the
Sir? Sir, please can you show again Vasco da Gama?
Vasco da Gama's route is Lisbon. Then come like this. Here it is Mauritania, Morocco, then what is it? Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, like this Angola, Namibia, South Africa, then like this, then Tanzania, like this here, Ethiopia. From Ethiopia, it is like this to Calicut in Kerala. That's the route taken by Vasco da Gama.
Okay, sir.
Then Portuguese naturally got upper hand in trade with India. So Portuguese occupied. They wanted a trading center in India. So they attacked Goa. And they conquered Goa from Adil Shahis. So 1510 they occupied Goa. You know, Goa is here. So they were the first to come to India and conquer India, and they were the last to go out from India. In 1961, only they left Goa. So from 1510 to 1961, Goa was in the hands of Portuguese. Okay, so that is the rule. Now we can see other members. As he told Magellan. Magellan is a person who wanted to go around first, complete Europe world. So he started his journey like this. He also from Spain like this. He has come like this. Tip of South America. Okay, it is known as a Magellan Strait. This area is known as a Magellan Strait. He crossed this area because most of the names for these places are put by the Europeans. We don't know what is the original name. When the Europeans began to record, that has come into acceptance. That is why that names are there. So Magellan Strait, he came like this. Then he came like this. Naturally he went up. When he is here means, naturally he is in this corner. He came through this. You must understand that 3 ships were there, around 300 people were there in his journey. Only 10 people returned, including he himself died. Magellan himself. He came here. Here there is a country named Philippines. And here there was a fight with the local people in the Philippines. The Magellan team had a fight, and Magellan died here. And others still crossed this and went around and back. Only 1 ship and 10 people could reach back to Spain. All others perished on the way. Water is not available. Food items are not available. So you must understand, they had taken a risk. That is why we study about them. How many millions of people have lived in the world? We study about very few people. We remember their names because they have taken risk of life. In anything, even maybe in the battlefield, even maybe in the journey, even maybe in the scientific achievements. Otherwise it will not happen. So that is You must understand Copernicus. Copernicus was told earth is round and shaped. He himself was a priest. And Christian religious teaching was earth is flat. Sun is created by God to provide light to the earth. And moon is giving light to the earth in the sun in the night. And earth is the center of everything. Now Copernicus is telling earth is not the center, sun is the center. Naturally, he is speaking against the teachings of the church. He was afraid to propagate that idea. That was propagated, published by Galileo. The scientists also had their problems. Everybody. So they were ready to take risk. Then only we remember them in our history books. Otherwise, nobody will remember. Slowly, will die and think people will forget. Some years, if we have got a family members, they may remember sometime. After that, they also forget. Everybody will forget. Will be out of memory. Otherwise, we should do something important, something great. Records that we created by us. Name boards should be written, not by us, by others. Okay, where our name board, that others should write our name. Then only we become important. Otherwise, we are not performing or showing something important. So that is Magellan's. He came like this. Okay. Now, how did America get that name? You know, there's a person from Italy named Amerigo Vespucci. Amerigo Vespucci traveled from Italy to this route named America. This route, and he came back and told the route to take, or the land that is discovered by Columbus is not India. Till that time, people were thinking that India only, because there was no satellite picture like in modern period. There are no satellite cameras, no Google map at that time. Just very easy Google map is that locate the places and go. And there is no Google map was available. So they were not knowing about it. So Amerigo Vespucci has told the land that is discovered by Columbus is not India. Then the newspapers writers began to say, okay, then it will write Newfoundland. Then some of the newspaper writers began to write it in the name of Amerigo. And that Amerigo has shortened and they have begun just being used as America. It is from Amerigo Vespucci of Italy. It is not original name of this continent. We don't know what is the original name of that continent. We have not written record of it. Okay, so that is the situation. So tomorrow let us see further details about the next chapter. We'll start. Okay, bye. See you. Bye.